What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Gundam Guys. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Keenan.
And it's episode 10!
This is it, everybody. We are coming up on the last episode on our first disc of our Blu-ray for Mobile Suit Gundam. And I gotta tell you, I really hope that... I mean, I've seen the episode already. If you've been following us long enough, everybody knows that I watch the episode once before Jeff does. And then we both watch it at the same time while we're here. I just hope that the narration does a complete disservice to this episode for your sake.
You mean the preview from last week?
Correct.
Yes, because narration is what the narrator says over the...
I say narrator because I have no other way to describe the ominous voice that tells everybody they were born and raised and die.
Yeah, no.
And also does the previews for each episode.
See, I thought you meant the opening narration, and that's why I was like, Keenan, it's the same every episode. I'm very sorry to break this.
No.
This heartbreaking thing to you, but every single episode opens with that same thing.
The narrator is voiced by the same guy.
At least so far.
Yeah, and he was also a problem in our last episode at the very end. You remember that?
Ew! I didn't want to. Yikes, Keenan. Ew. Way to
ruin the introduction of a really great character who only showed up for like 5 minutes, but wasn't she great?
Yeah, no, she was great. That was bad. But anyway, we're on to newer, better things.
Yes.
Episode 10, or I hope so.
Right?
I have no proof either way of how this episode will be. I know the title does not give me high hopes, but we will see.
Yeah, and the title for this episode, as we've referenced probably in numerous episodes, because Jeff saw it on the list of episodes on the Blu-ray probably some time ago.
I think the first time we recorded over here, because when we recorded the first 4 episodes, we watched them on the DVD at my place, which only has like 6 episodes per disc.
Yeah.
And then when we got over here, I was like, I wonder who Garma is, because the last episode's named after him. And then I met him, fell in love with him, and now I'm very concerned.
As am I. Garma's a fantastic character.
But you know what? They have released the pre-order for that second volume of the Origin anime. And you know who's on the cover of that?
Garma.
My boyfriend Garma. Also, my other boyfriend, Hot Dad, I believe, is in the background.
Yeah, he's somewhere in there.
Yeah, so I'm very excited for the Origin, when we're 40.
Right. Although they did something I did not expect.
Do tell.
On Right Stuff's website, they originally posted the Blu-ray to release in July. They did it early. They actually released it, by the time this episode comes out, they released it a couple weeks prior to this episode's release.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have it already?
Nope. It's coming in the mail, though.
Ooh.
Along with my limited edition Gundam NT collection.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. You went hard for that one. And I was like, I'm going to wait for the cheap DVD, which will come out in 2 years.
And that's why I can't wait. So I had to get it as soon as it popped up.
I got that theatrical experience. It will stick with me for a while.
As will I. That was such a wonderful thing that happened. But aside from that, this episode has Jeff and I very worried for many reasons besides the fact that it's called Garma's Fate. Not a very friendly title for our boy.
Why else are we worried?
I'm worried because I might as well, normally I kind of recap, the previous episode. I think it's best for this, since we're kind of closing one book on this, and by book, I mean a disc. We're going to be moving on. We're going to be moving on to disc 2 after this.
It's big things. Big things popping.
It's a big deal. So I think I want to do, a real quick summary of, all the events that have transpired up to this point.
All right, let me get comfortable.
Feel free to chime in too.
This is gonna take it away, Keenan.
Oh, don't sound so dejected.
Let's run through 10 full episodes of plot.
Trust me, it's not gonna be as long as you think.
I have met you, Keenan, and my boy can chat. Also, you have what looks like a college-length essay in front of you, and that brings me concern.
Oh, that's a funny thing that I'll tell you about right now. So.
Oh,
I can't
wait to laugh.
I did a bad, Jeff.
No, what did you do?
I did not give myself enough time to take all the notes that I needed to. So I pulled up a little cheat sheet.
No, I can live with that.
So
I was like, what did you do? I thought that was your written description of all 10 episodes. I was like, guess what, guys? He has the minute-to-minute description for 9 30-minute episodes.
No.
He's ready.
No. I'll tell you, like, this is going to be a really condensed version. So, first of all, if you're new here, this is why I want to do it. I encourage you to go back and listen to our first episode and follow us along our wonderful journey through this franchise.
Yes.
But if you haven't and you're catching this episode, then here you go.
Every episode, someone's first, and to that person, I say,
welcome.
Keenan, you bit my bit.
Sorry, I'm a little jumpy because of this.
No, there will be no forgiveness. Unforgivable. What did you have to say, Keenan? Give them your previously on.
All right. So the year is 0079 of the Universal Century. Right now, there's a war going on between two factions, the Earth Federation and the Principality of Zeon. The Principality of Zeon does not like the Earth Federation because they are not friendly to space people.
Define space people?
People who live on the colonies around Earth.
But humans. Okay, I just wanted to make clear because I was like, that does not sound like you're talking about humans. And they expressed their displeasure by causing a
global catastrophe.
A genocidal event?
Yeah, which we've referenced many times, and Jeff still wants to know more about it.
It got rid of the continent of Australia.
It's, they took a whole colony that was built, and they dropped it on Earth, wiped out Australia, like Jeff said, also caused horrendous devastation on the rest of the planet, as we've seen in that one episode about Coley and his mom.
Half of both populations are gone, as the narrator reminds us every week.
Yeah, half the Earth's respective population is toast.
Yes, so the plot of the story, Keenan.
The plot of the story is, after those events got told to us by our narrator, we met up with our hero, Amuro, who's a 15-year-old boy living on a colony called Side 7. Him and his buddies, one being the wonderful girl, Frau Bo, which Jeff hated at first, but then fell in love. They did not realize that on their colony, there was a secret project being constructed by the Earth Federation, known as Project V, as we know it as the Gundam. Zeon caught a word about that. They sent one of their best, known as Char Aznable, the Red Comet, one of the best pilots known to the Zeon, out to investigate. Things did not go well. You remember Gene, our boy?
I remember Gene, as I remember all of the first episode that you are still on in this alleged short recap that you have brought to us today.
Well, that's the most important part, is the introduction of everything. So once that happens, then everything is a landslide. So... Don't judge me.
I would never.
So they investigate. They found the Gundam. Amuro got in the Gundam. Bunch of shenanigans happened. They end up on a transport.
Now we're on Earth.
No. They end up on a transport that is also part of the secret project called White Base, along with a bunch of civilians from Side 7 because it got attacked, and a makeshift crew of a bunch of our favorite people, including Shitty Inuyasha, which is Kai Shiden, Salem Ass, one of my favorite characters, Mirai, who's one of your favorite characters, and is the pilot of White Base, and Noah Bright, our stoic captain, makeshift captain. They left. They got into a whole bunch of other scuffles with Zeon along the way. They met some horrible Earth Federation people that almost tried to detain them. They finally made their way to Earth, which is where they were planning to go in the first place to drop off all the civilians they had. They're on Earth. They ran into Garma, who is the captain of the Earth occupation forces of Zeon. They currently are trying to get out of their territory right now. And over the last few episodes, Garma's been having a bad day because the Gundam's real good. It's real good at killing things. So that is the overall state of where we are.
Sorry, Keenan, I just had to run out to my 40th birthday party. It's been a lovely decade sitting here hearing this tale with you.
That hasn't even been 5 minutes.
Now that I have reached this new decade of life, let's get to the episode.
All right, listen here.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You get to be Mr. Funny Man on this. I get to have a turn too.
Mr. Hashtag Mr. Funny Man. That is me.
All right. I get to be the Gundam guide. So it's my job. I'm doing my job.
Yes.
You
do it beautifully, as I have often told you.
Are you sure about that? You don't sound like you're very impressed.
I'm saying you're doing a wonderful job. Only you are. Keenan, you shouldn't criticize yourself like this. Like, you really need to have more self-confidence.
I really should.
Have more trust in you. I believe in you. What the fuck is this podcast even at this point?
This is how we celebrate 10 episodes.
Yeah, by breaking the whole thing.
I have the low self-confidence about Garma. Because as we are, Garma is...
Keenan.
Okay.
I don't mean to interrupt you, because you're my dear friend.
Go on.
You can't have low self-confidence about another person, because that removes the self from the situation.
Fair point. I have low confidence...
There you go. See, I'm an English major. It's just, we
he had to come in and actually me.
Such a burden has been put on us in this world.
Over the last couple of episodes, Char has been a real big friend. I say in heavy air quotes.
I thought you were going to say a real bitch. I was like, yeah, kind of.
That too. To Garma, because we've established in other episodes that they've known each other for a long time. And they're kind of catty and have a rivalry with each other. But the last episode, Char tried to do Garma in, dirty.
Ooh, I would say Char succeeded in doing Garma dirty.
Well, I mean, we haven't seen, the real ramifications of it yet. We've only seen just a small portion of what his plan is.
Spoilers!
It's not a spoiler yet.
You're hinting. I hear the hints. I hear them everywhere.
I'm referencing what's been happening.
He's so lucky to have me. You all don't understand.
You have got an attitude today.
J'accuse! All I come in here with is friendship and love and a notebook, and I just get attacked in your very own home.
I think you're just worried about Garma, and now you're projecting that onto me.
That's actually probably very true.
But you also provide snacks.
I do provide snacks.
And
it's funny you should mention that, Keenan, because, as you all well know, because we're buds, I do not accept the shenanigans that anime is to enjoyed any other way than with a snack. And today's snack, we have chicken sliders. Some breaded, some breaded chicken sliders, and I'm excited.
Yeah,
nice.
they look great.
A nice snicky snack.
Yeah.
Pop them in, heat them up, yum.
And that's the state of affair of things with us. We're going to go watch the episode. We're going to pray very deeply.
Keenan, I'm scared.
I am very scared. But we are going to enjoy our meal. We're going to watch the episode, and we're going to come right back.
See you soon.
Hey everybody, we just got done watching episode 10 of Mobile Suit Gundam, Garma's Fate. This episode aired on June 9th, 1979 in Japan, and in America it aired on August 3rd, 2001. And Jeff, this episode is bananas. This episode's insane.
I don't know if I could talk about it. I'm so upset. I'm
too.
I am very distraught. I would like to give a slight addendum.
As would I.
Beforehand.
I have something else that I want to add to this as well, but
I would just like to say to our beautiful listeners, first of all, thank you for coming, because I need to share this loss with you all, because I am Keenan saw me. I had reactions to this episode, not even just what we knew was going to happen. But also, I just want to say, I got hella sassy in the opening with Keenan, and I just want to say, Keenan is my boy forever, and which he knows, and this is just how we go sometimes, back and forth. But to the unknowing ear, I just want to say, if I made y'all a little uncomfortable with my heavy sass, I apologize because Keenan's my boy.
Oh, Jeff, that's so sweet of you.
And it was all in good tease.
Oh yeah. Like I know that, but you're right. Our audience.
But yes, I want to make sure this is a safe place for everyone, and you all will not feel safe and like you're having a fun time if you think I'm just yelling at Keenan all the time.
No, as I was joking around with him before we actually started recording the second half of this. I was saying, he's like, oh, you're gonna do me in like Char did, and he was like, yeah, kinda.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and like I said, Keenan, you wouldn't be the first. The my past is littered with the blood of my enemies, so watch out.
So that's all it was, is we were doing our best reenactment of this episode where I am Garma, he is Char. Thankfully, I am still...
I sent him down in flames.
Quite alive.
That was our opening. Our opening was an homage to the episode I hadn't seen yet.
It was a eulogy for something you didn't even know about.
Didn't I do such a good job?
It was great.
Thank you. The snack was great. Oh, that barbecue sauce you had was delicious.
Yeah, and the chicken actually tasted very, very good.
Yeah, until you ruined it with cabbage.
I like cabbage, though.
No, listen, more power to you. I wish I liked cabbage.
My cabbages!
Look at you with the Avatar reference. You fancy and a wonderful segue as I compared this episode to the season 1 finale of Avatar: The Last Airbender, because even though it's just episode 10, it felt like the end of a season, like the end of an arc. Like the first disc you could kind of split the first disc into like 2 arcs, like the first 5 episode and the last 5 episode.
Sure.
But this one really felt more like an ending with still more places to go than episode 5 did with the fucking plastic bag and that guy burning up in the atmosphere.
Now, that was Jeff's addendum. I have an addendum as well.
Yes.
My addendum is that there was something I brought up about last episode that got addressed in this episode that both Jeff and I said that made no sense. Is that... we'll talk about it more in detail, but in the last episode when we met Lieutenant Matilda, the whole point that she was there was to take a whole bunch of stuff out of White Base to kind of alleviate them of their problems. Like, they took away Lieutenant Piccolo.
Yes, I know what you're going to say. Yes, I forgot. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, they took him away. We're never going to see him again. She said that they were going to take civilians as well. However, that wasn't exactly true.
Well,
I guess like a half-truth.
I guess she took some of them because there were still a lot hanging around, and also they were like all elderly, which I'm like, no, we left you on a raft. Why are you here?
So the answer to that is that I watched the episode back. I couldn't really get much insight on that, so I had to go on the internet and find out. The civilians that she took were the injured. So everybody that's still on White Base is perfectly healthy and fine. The injured civilians...
Did they say that?
That's to my recollection, because I watched the episode back, I didn't hear it.
I thought she just took the civilians, because then is when she told Noah, like, okay, I've got the civilians. P.S. Your job is now to remain in the line of fire indefinitely.
Exactly. That's why I watched it twice. So I was like, wait, okay, here she is. She's reading the list of what she's going to do. And I don't remember her mentioning anything about injured.
Yeah. I don't remember that either.
I was very confused. But you know what? That's all right.
But you know what? That was the least of things that got emotional reactions from me this week.
Yeah, the civilians, not even 1% of this episode. We just see them.
Because I think I said something to you while we were watching. I think I was like, why are the elderly still here?
Yeah.
I'm like, didn't we? And I forgot about her. I was just thinking about the time a bunch of them got on a raft and went out and just started sailing across a lake.
Yeah. No, there's only one purpose why these civilians are here, and it's something that made both of us happy, but we're going to get to that when we get to that.
Yes, it was a thing that made both of us happy.
Don't worry, I'll remind you.
Okay, thank you.
I'll remind you. So, here's how this episode starts out, is that the ruined city that White Base had been flying over, we've now, since the last battle that they got into, we finally saw day go to night. So, we're finally in a nighttime setting for once. And
we got that sick night filter on, which I was very confused what was going on.
Yeah, that was something. But it's sunset right now. And we go by the ruined city to somewhere that's actually completely fine.
Mm-hmm.
over the grand scheme of things. Like, it's a beautiful estate. And
yes, a beautiful estate.
What's going on right
now.
now...
With the grossest men inside.
Yes. Garma's throwing a party.
Oh, it was lovely. Oh, the outfits. Y'all. Ladies came to slay.
So I knew there was a reason that you and I like Garma. And that's because he throws a killer party.
Fabulous.
Like, he's in the same uniform because, you know, he's on standby and whatever, but he still looks gorgeous.
He does, obviously.
Women are fawning over him as he's walking around the party.
Same girls. I was like, oh, yes, ladies, I am with you. Hey! I loved Random Lady 1, 2, and 3 because they were giving me same vibes. Like, I was like, oh, I got you, girls.
Yeah, and thankfully Garma has no time for these two creepy guys that
I hated them.
They're trying to schmooze with him, like, oh, we heard your father might be coming to Earth sometime soon. And he's like, no.
Oh, I didn't even hear what they were saying because their faces were so loud. I could not even hear the words they were saying.
And you know what else? Like,
they were drawn as the slimiest, grossest men.
And they were doing the little, like, evil hand gesture, you know, where they clasp their hands together.
Yes. And they were like, hello, Garma. And I was like, oh my God, they're predators. Get away from them. You're so gross. I hated him.
And I think he even noticed that. It's just like, hey, I'm gonna go talk to Char for a little bit. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Honestly, I was afraid they were like main villains. I was like, ugh, who are these gross men? But then we left them very quickly.
Yes.
And we went over to another gross man who, not to shame Mashar, because I do still love Mashar. Mm-hmm. But he committed the greatest sin of taking his helmet off, but not his headgear. And I was like, you could not look worse. I'm like, you are at a fancy party. You are embarrassing me. You're embarrassing yourself. What are you doing?
And all it is just that the way that his headgear is fitted is like, he's got his Darth Vader helmet. When he takes it off, he's got a little like goggle set that he always wears constantly. And it's got one strap that wraps around the top of his head. It ruins his blonde hair.
It looks so bad. I'm like, oh, this is what you choose to wear? I mean, helmet on if this is what you're going to do.
And I think even Garma was subtly like trying to drown it out because they're both going through their wine pretty quickly.
I was like, sure, you're better than this.
Yeah, they're having a little chat.
Artesia would be devastated.
Right. We still haven't learned who Artesia is just yet, but...
Don't we? Well, yeah, we know who Artesia is. It's Sayla.
Well, Char thinks it might have been.
What? Okay. All right. Yep. Moving on. Moving on. Hold on. I just put an attack in my board.
Yeah.
That was red string.
That was a problem that they had when Char first met Sayla. Just like, huh. She reminds me of Artesia, but she's too strong a woman to be Artesia, and you got upset about that, just like you're doing right now.
Sorry, I forgot that happened. Yuck.
Yeah, that's why, you know, put a pin in it.
Yuck. Yuck. Go fuck yourself, Char. Yeah. P.S. Not the most upsetting thing that's gonna happen in regards to women this episode.
Right, and that's a great segue actually to what I was going to talk about, because there's the reason why Garma's holding this party is because he has a lady in his life.
Ooh, Iselina, I love her.
Is this beautiful blonde woman who comes strolling down the stairs.
Yes, girl does an entrance. Mm-hmm. I was here for it.
And they are in love with each other.
Ooh.
Like, deeply. And it's really sweet, actually. Even though if it may be a little Romeo and Juliet when you listen to them talk to each other, because they have some family issues going on with their parents, especially the mayor of this former town that is now run by Zeon.
Did you like my backing vocals?
That's great.
For your romantic tale.
It was great.
Thank you.
I love it.
I was very proud of it. My super off-key oohing.
We'll see if it's off key or not.
That was the music of romance.
Yeah, but Iselina is the daughter of the Eschenbachs, and the Eschenbachs used to run this city before Zeon came in and blew it up.
AKA, they were part of the Earth,
yes.
And then, as Keenan so beautifully put it, the space people came and blew it up.
They blew it up. They blew it up real good.
Yep.
Except this mansion.
so Garma could throw fancy parties in it. Yep. I can't. He was like, I'm going to explode this whole city, but we must leave the mansion so I can be fancy.
Of course.
Would
you expect anything less?
Him so much. I don't even know if that was his call, but I'm just going to assume it was his call.
Same. There is no hard evidence that is the reason why.
No, you can't prove to me it wasn't him, so we're just going to assume it was.
Yeah, so Eschenbach Sr., he's there at this party as well. He is not a fan. As we will see, because he is not approved of the relationship between his daughter and Garma.
I never thought we'd find someone worse than Admiral Tiny Head, but this episode, if anything, this gave me a garden grove of people to hate this week.
Yeah. So, I referenced the Romeo and Juliet thing because they're both coming from two different families who hate each other.
Yeah, they doesn't hate him enough to not show up to his fancy party. See, now that is my issue. You gonna come up into Garma's mansion, drink his wine, smoke his cigars, and get your snicky snack on off of his hors d'oeuvres, and then you're gonna be like, oh, I hate him. Why did you come to the party?
Exactly. Probably because it was originally his mansion, but hey.
Well, then why would you want to go back and see the man who took it from you?
Probably because his daughter's there.
And bring your daughter who's in love with him, who you clearly are upset that she is.
Well,
I question his choices, his life choices. He sucks.
As do I.
He sucks the worst.
But yeah, Garma and Iselina are, they go to a balcony and they have this little, heart-to-heart with each other. Garma is just like, well, I've got these things worked out, so don't worry, you're going to be my fiancé.
Ooh.
Whether your father or my father has anything to say about it.
Y'all, I had a moment during his speech of romance to her. I turned to Keenan. Keenan said something. I did not even hear what he said. I just turned and went, I'm sorry, what were you talking about? Woo!
It was pretty funny.
I was like, Keenan, can we dim the lights, please? I'm on a date with my boyfriend.
Yeah, Garma is equally as smooth a talker as Shar is.
Shar, who is being creepy as shit, watching them out a window, swirling his wine in his glass.
With this huge smile on his face. And in his mind, he's still saying that, oh, Garma, you spoiled little child, you.
Yeah, to which I'm like, hey, no one should look that cocky with that terrible of headwear.
Yeah, exactly. But Garma and Iselina's conversation gets interrupted by one of Garma's men, and he alerts him that White Base has been spotted, and Garma says, okay, this is perfect. Iselina, you just wait right here. I'm going to bag us the biggest win in Zeon history. Yeah. Just wait for me.
And then Garma kind of lost a little of my love as he gave her the shittiest kiss in entertainment history. He just went and then ran away. And I was like, what the fuck was that?
I'll chalk that up to being 1979.
I was like, you're going off to war. What the hell was that? Give her a yeesh.
So, funny thing, though, you mentioned the dimming the lights thing. So,
actually, look at me, master of transitions without realizing it. I know where you're going with this, Keenan. Yes, do tell.
Garma heads off. We see White Base.
Just hitting a car.
Just doing like it did before, is flying below radar, very close to the ground, skirts by, hits a car off of a piece of rubble, no big deal.
Why is everyone, because I think it was Garma 2 episodes ago, and White Base, I don't know what noise my mouth just made, a White Base this time, where they just hit things, Garma took out a tree, they're wiping out a car. I'm like, y'all, why are you so bad at not hitting things?
I'm really not sure why the animators chose to depict something like this.
It was just it was cute and fun, and I was like, that's random. Because I figured when it happened, I'm like, they made a noise. Now the alarm's gonna sound. And no, they just knocked the car over, and then we kept moving.
No, the only explanation I have is because White Base is such a large ship, and they're trying to fly through this city of rubble. You know, it's such low altitude. They're trying their best not to hit anything, but they're so bulky, they're going to hit something no matter what.
Yeah.
That's all I got. It's still really weird, but the dimming the lights thing.
Yeah, I was so confused.
So we see inside White Base's bridge, like we usually do. All of our favorite people are there, and there's a weird blue filter over this scene.
Yeah, that was bananas.
And I had to stop the episode to explain it to Jeff.
Yeah, because I was like, wait, is that because it's nighttime? Has like all the lighting in White Base just been natural light, which makes space really not make sense?
Yeah, it really doesn't. No, White Base has its own internal lights like any vehicle does. But what I explained to him is like they're trying to sneak by undetected, so they blacked out the whole ship. There's no lights that are on. So naturally, like, or I guess like the blue light could be moonlight that's peeking through.
I don't know, because they didn't. Because then it would have shifted at all during the whole thing. It was just weird, and I was very confused.
It was their way of trying to show us is like, hey, they're operating under a blackout so that they don't get caught by Zeon. Well, I mean, it doesn't really work because not long after that, they just start launching flares.
Yeah. Oh, could you explain this to me? Because I was confused as to what the planet was with the flares. Because I understood the plan that follows after it.
Yeah.
But I was like, is Zeon launching the flares?
Yes.
What is going on with the flares?
Zeon launched the flares to try and spot them.
Okay.
But they have...
Their flares were huge.
Yeah. It brightened up the entire city.
Well, it was like a giant ball of... I'm like, is that a sun? Did they just launch a sun at them? Because that's very destructive.
Yeah, no, even like some of the people on the bridge of White Base were trying to cover their eyes due to how bright that was. And so now they have no choice but to go and hide. So they come up with a couple of bad ideas along the way, but...
Yeah, they often do.
As they often do. But they do find a ruined stadium, like a dome that's been opened up. But they could,
this was cool. I like
they could
this.
park it inside and remain unseen while Zeon is continuing to launch flares to try and spot them as they approach closer. And they do. They just kind of back into it and they just sit there while they try to come up with what their next course of action is, because even though Lieutenant Matilda came by and gave a little bit of assistance with them, they're still underprepared for another attack like what we've seen Garma bring out before with all the planes and the tanks and everything. But we'll see that they actually come up with a pretty good idea, but it also plays into what Char wants.
Yes, which leads me to my biggest complaint about this episode, and really about this first arc in general. I'm curious what you think of this. I think, personally, that this would have been better served if Garma had been our villain from the beginning, and Char came in when Garma came in, but this still ended the same. Because my issue was Char is makes so many moves and proves how much more competent he is than Garma in this episode. But we've already seen 5 episodes where he couldn't get the fucking thing done. And I feel like if Garma had been the villain, and Garma would be a perfect like first boss.
Sure.
Who's just, very skilled, but also not, as good at tactical planning.
Right.
We didn't learn that much about Char in those early episodes.
I think for a good reason, though.
Yeah, well, yes, for a good reason, but also it meant that it could just as you could easily switch in Garma as opposed to Char.
Yeah.
They come down to Earth, Garma brings in Char's, like, his secret weapon, like his, like the Red Comet.
Sure.
The Red Comet.
Yeah.
What's up? And then really Char just uses it as a chance to get rid of Garma, which I think in that case, if Char was a newer character, it would be easier to set up why he has it out for Garma, because I don't think they ever fully set up, and kind of they hint that we don't know everything of why he had it out for Garma. They did hint at that there's more that we're going to learn about it.
Yes.
But I just think if we'd started with Garma so we could have focused on our main characters in those early episodes, then bring in Char in like episode 6 and be like, ooh, he is a whole nother level of villain. Because they kind of played like they were going to do that with Garma, and then his big attack got fucked up in his first episode, and he never did much better from that point going on. Which is no shade to my boyfriend. I loved him. but
they didn't know what they were up against.
Bringing him in as like the second big villain we meet, he's not super impressive in comparison to Char. And Char's already had some of his cred sullied by what we've seen in the first 5 episodes.
I think you bring up a very valid point about that. I could easily see what you described. Like, they could Green Ranger him and have him,
I like that.
Have him come in as a guest villain, as opposed to like what you were saying, where we had him from jump. And we've had all this time to see him, and we've seen him kind of show a bit of foible, which makes him, look bad when we look back at other episodes, and it takes away a lot of his mystique.
It takes some of the punch out of what we're eventually going to see in this episode. Yeah. Whereas if Garma was the first villain, and then this is when, no spoilers, maybe Garma has a long future, who knows? But then we end this episode with Char kind of taking over as the main villain.
Yeah.
Then we could really spend more time building up Char, whereas the first 10 episodes the first episode could have really focused on just the heroes.
Well, I think what this episode is proving with Char, actually, is that he isn't taking the main slot as the villain anymore. Because we see...
Does that prove that? Because I feel like he took the main slot as the villain back.
Well...
I feel like he was like, oh, okay, and I don't mean like... the big boss, because we meet who the big boss is.
Yeah.
But I feel like Char is still the primary antagonist in that he's the one constantly going for them.
Okay, I see what you mean.
I don't know what the future holds and whether or not we're going to get another Garma-esque mini-boss. Like, what I mean is like the primary... Like, you mentioned Avatar.
Yeah.
Like, Ozai is the overall villain.
Right.
But season 1, the villain was mainly Zuko, and season 2, the villain was mainly Azula.
Sure. Okay, yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
That's a fair point. Anyway, we're kind of dancing around the subject here.
Yeah, so I wonder what could happen in this episode.
So, the culmination of Char's efforts is starting to show its true form, as this is all playing into what he wanted ever since he got to Earth and he met up with Garma. We never really know why. We still don't know why. But this whole time, he's been undermining Garma emotionally, and now ultimately to the end.
Yes, and I'm glad you say we don't know why, because the thing is, Char clearly has an issue with Garma, which he never really says outright, and also... Garma's not particularly shitty to him.
No.
Not ever, because they're clearly friends, and Garma in his first episode is kind of a little... passive-aggressive in that, yes, I am the better commander. But after that, like, he seems to look to Char as a genuine partner and, he treats him as if he's on even level with him, not as in he's a subordinate.
But as we have now seen, that was all a sham.
Yeah, on Char's half.
On Char's behalf.
But what I'm saying is,
You didn't see it as a revenge scheme. It was a rivalry, not necessarily something that.
Oh no! As of last episode, I saw it as a something. Like, he clearly had it out for Garma. Not even in a. At first, I thought it was a rivalry, and then as of last episode, I was like, oh, he is like, I'm like, because remember, I was like, he's being like emotionally abusive to Garma. Like, he is.
Yeah, that's
fucking with his.
That's
head.
what I meant. Aside from the last episode where he tried to cut his communication and blame it on the engineer because of dirt.
Yes,
and I mean that quite literally, people.
Yeah.
That was the first time he actually tried to sabotage Garma, whereas everything else has just been like, well, okay, I'll just let him play himself into the ground.
Well, yeah, and I think we talked about in the earlier episodes where it more so seemed about making Garma look bad to make Char look better, and then last episode I was like, oh, Garma better, like, ooh, Garma, you better run. Like, I was like, oh no, Char is up to real shit, and we're about to see it.
Yeah, so they go to start carpet bombing the city because they can't see them through the flares, so Char and Garma just come up with the idea. It's just like, okay, we're just going to coat the place in explosives.
And this was one of my, and I love when Gundam does this.
Yeah.
This was a legitimately scary scene because you got to see inside White Base. as they were just hammering the whole area with bombs, and you see everyone like clutching and scared, and even like Sailor wasn't scared or clutching anything, but all the boys were, and all doing that while they held on and
brace for impact.
It was very like. But the thing is, no one did that like brace for impact. I think maybe Ryu said something, but otherwise it was a very quiet scene, except for and they just let it sit. They just had the explosions going on, and you could see everyone looking scared. And I was like, oh, this is the shit. I love when Gundam does, because I love when Gundam brings the reality into it that you sometimes lose in a giant robot show. And also, like, Gundam Wing and G Gundam never had, like, shit like this, where things got, like, raw. Like, that was very raw scene when they were carpet bombing, and you could see everyone, like, oh God. And then, you know, and the elderly are all, that was like, they're still here.
Yeah, where we were surprised, just like, wait a minute, they're still here. They're still hanging around. Although you did bring up something that drew my attention. And this is a complaint I have with this episode. I have very few complaints about this one. This episode's fantastic.
Yeah, I said to Keenan afterwards, I think this is my favorite episode so far.
But, and I had the same problem in the last episode, is the narrator has popped up in times where I feel like they should have been quiet.
Keenan gets very upset with the narrator.
Because
he yells at the screen.
I feel it ruins what Jeff described as a perfect scene where they let it sit, as you described.
My favorite part of it is there's a scene that's coming up later where the narrator is narrating while it happens. And I was super into it, that I like the narrator was not distracting me. But you know what was distracting? When the person next to me goes, "Shut the fuck up!" And I was like, "You shut the fuck up! I'm trying to, like, you took me out of my moment, Keenan." Like
I did, and I apologized to him after that.
I was like, "No, you shut up!" There was a moment. I was having a moment,
but. That shows me that you are 100% invested in this.
Yeah, just a tad.
I'm happy.
Yeah, I have some feelings and I have some emotions and opinions.
Yeah. And speaking of emotions and opinions, this is what I was talking about, where we see the civilians and there's something that happens that made us both really happy.
Oh! Yes!
He just got up to dance.
Yeah. It was the best fucking moment. I can't listen, y'all. You've heard episode 8 by now, and if you haven't, you should go back and listen. But there has been a major story arc going on throughout this that the show has not addressed. In this story arc, there's a plot point which the show is not directly addressed, and I thought we had solved it. We hadn't, but we solved it today, and it was the best shit ever. Tell them what happened, Keenan.
So I think this is back at episode 2, where they load up everybody to get onto White Base. There's a mother that runs around screaming, "My baby, my baby," and we have never found that baby.
And I have brought it up constantly, but...
It was the greatest sub-story that has ever existed in television. Ladies and gentlemen, and everybody else listening out there, we have found the baby!
We found the baby, and we found the mother, because because the 3 kids...
The best children.
The best children are basically telling this baby to shut up because it's loud. And then all of a sudden I hear... I'm so excited. Then all of a sudden I hear from the side, "My baby? My baby!" And I was like, her baby! She found her baby, Keenan! I'm so excited!
What a better
8 episodes later, she found the baby! We found the mother and the baby! I was so excited. God, I couldn't believe I lost my... You think this was loud? I hope you have your volume turned down. You should have seen me when it happened. I was like, what? Like, the most important storyline in Mobile Suit Gundam has come to a close.
And what a great way to cap it off by having Kikalets and Cats, the best children, as we've said. They're the ones who found the baby.
Yes, and my favorite part is, as Keenan can verify, the beginning of when my notes stop being notes and start being proclamations. in large lettering and lots of underlines.
Yeah, which it made me laugh while we were watching the episode because I was occasionally glancing over to see what he was writing.
And it was just like, my entire notebook for this episode is basically just me screaming.
My mouth hurts right now because of how happy I am.
I'm so happy because it's not gonna stay happy for long. But guess what? I'm so excited. Yes.
Yeah. But it was a really great scene showcasing Frau, actually, because right before we hear the wonderful words of "my baby," Frau
showed up again.
Frau came in to be the wonderful, caring person that she is. Is just like, here, let me take care of that baby so it can stop crying and you kids can stop yelling.
Yes. I like because my favorite part is the kids are yelling at the baby to shut up, and Frau comes over is basically like, maybe everyone could shut up.
We're being bombed right now. Please be quiet.
Amidst all the terrified looks we saw above deck while everything was getting bombed and that really serious moment, then we go down, then we go into the basement for this nonsense, and it was great.
Yeah. And I'm real happy you brought up your notes again, because there's one thing that you asked me to remind you about, and here it is, Jeff.
Oh, yeah, we go from the highest of highs to the lowest of fucking lows.
I'll get you through it.
Everyone turn your volume down. I'm about to get riled up.
They name drop Admiral Tinyhead again.
Oh, no, before this, no, I could tell because that was when I wrote gross in big letters. Before that, when I wrote nope in big letters.
Yes.
Yes.
That's right.
These are literally my notes. Let me break my notes down.
That's right. I forgot.
She found her baby.
Yes.
Nope. Gross. Everything is awful. So, following the trail.
Right. So
no, Admiral Tinyhead was gross. Before that, there's Nope.
Yeah, Nope is we have to go see how the Eschenbachs are doing one more time.
Iselia. I really liked her in this episode.
Poor Iselina.
Iselina. I just called her by the wrong name. It's Iselina.
It's okay. You just met her this episode. You need to get acquainted.
True. I was mixing her up with Cassilia.
Which is also on your conspiracy list.
Yeah, we still haven't seen her. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to think she's she's Mobile Suit Gundam's Azula because we see our Ozai and
right.
And what's Zuko just went down. I mean, Zuko, Garma, who would be our Zuko equivalent, is, I'm sure, perfectly fine. We're not to the end of the episode yet. We don't know. You were saying, Keenan?
So
I have a lot of emotions. I'm sorry. I'm very bad at podcasting today.
It's okay. She can't stand the idea of waiting for Garma. So she goes to a private jet.
As you do.
She wants to go and fly to him right now. A couple of her retainers get her away.
Not even. First, it's just one lady just yanking on her arm, trying to pull her out of this jet.
And then because she's making a commotion, more people show up.
These two guys come out. They're like, "Is everything okay?" And this woman just like, "Help me, get her in!" And like,
right, yeah. And then they take her to see her dad, and she is not begging, but she's being defiant to him because she wants to marry Garma, and her dad doesn't approve. And he shows this by giving her a slap across the face.
Ooh, Keenan, I think what you meant to say was backhanding her, and I wanted to jump into the fucking television and wreck his shit myself.
No, my flat screen.
I was so mad. I was like, I'm gonna make you eat that cigar while it's still lit, sir. How fucking dare you keep your hands off that grown-ass woman?
Right.
I went from being so happy to so mad. My blood pressure just does not know how to feel. I'm in such trouble next time I go to the doctor's office. I was so... I was like, ooh, you, sir. I hope Garma survives. I hope they sacrifice you at the wedding.
Yeah. Mr. Eschenbach, the former mayor, is a 100% dirtbag.
He trash.
Yeah.
He the worst of trash.
Yeah. You're right. He completely backhanded her and told his boys, make sure she never leaves this house.
Yeah, it was the fucking worst. I just wanted her to hit him back, which I knew they weren't going to do because the 70s, but I was like, oh, I hate this. I hate this the most.
We got to reserve all the concentrated female awesomeness to Sayla, Frau, and Mirai, and Matilda when we see her.
Yeah, but you know what? I got to give Iselina.
Yes.
I got to give her credit, though, because she basically was just like middle fingers up to everyone. Right. She had no time for it until her giant ass father backhanded her, sending her crumpling to the ground. I hate him.
Yeah. Now then, thank you.
Yeah, now is when we move on from...
Thank you, Jeff, for moving me to the right spot.
Yeah, now is when we move from nope to gross.
Because, like I said, Admiral Tinyhead gets name dropped again. Jeff constantly thinks that he dies.
I forgot he existed, if we're being completely honest. I've been having such a good time hanging with my boyfriend. I did not care about this man.
Yeah. Garma, he's actually, due to a lot of different things, he's got a lot of mixed emotions because he has to deal with the issue with Iselina. He has apparently an issue with his own father because of, his relationship with Iselina. He also has Cecilia that's probably breathing down his neck because of all the defeats that he suffered. So he's not in the right headspace right now.
And that's when Char, his abusive boyfriend, decides to come in and manipulate him some more.
Exactly. He's just like, hey, I understand you're going through a lot right now. You know what? I know you said you're going to go out and fight on the ground. No, don't do that. You stay right here. I'll go out.
I'll go put myself in danger for you, baby.
Yes.
I saw what he was doing. It was gross and I hated it.
Yes. And that's when Admiral Tinyhead got brought up again because he's just like, well, I know right now you technically serve under me, but we both work for him too.
No, he said specifically that Char, he didn't say he worked for Dulstum. He said Char worked for it. He said, oh, I know you're acting under my command, but technically you're under my brother's command. Because I think they command. I think, I'm not 100% sure because it's too early to know.
No, you're absolutely correct. That was my bad on note-taking. And
you're the Gundam God, Keenan. Get it together.
I'm glad you said that.
Yes. What were you going to say?
Because you brought up that he is his brother.
Yeah, I hated that.
So let that sink in.
Yeah, but once we saw his father, I was like, oh, that's where the gene pool went.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm like, clearly Garma looks like his mother, and we haven't even seen her yet, but...
Right. Yeah, no. As it turns out, Cecilia, Dozel, and Garma, they're all related.
And I got out 10 spools of string and a half dozen, tacks, and I was ready to go.
Yeah. So Garma completely, buys into Sharma. I combine Garma and Char.
No, I know. I just was going to let it, it's a great ship name.
Like Jeff, my emotions are running a little high as well.
We're just this hardcore because it was a very good episode. So we got a lot of feelings.
Now I feel like, and Jeff said this while we were off air, is now things are really starting to get serious.
Yes.
Like the world is expanding, knowledge is being thrown out that is causing me to be like, oh my God, you're taking me back to when I was a kid again, when I first found out about this.
Yeah, there's so much happening in this. The world explode. Okay, actually, this is Gundam. I shouldn't word it that way. The world expands so massively in this episode. I was just like, oh, let me notes, like, theories, questions.
Yeah. Char goes out in his red Zaku with a couple of other guys.
Mm-hmm.
Garma, he's going to, remain on his wonderful purple attack carrier. And they're going to man an aerial assault once they find where White Base is.
Yes.
Char goes out scouting. Gundam is going to get sent out as well because Amuro suggests to Captain Bright that, why don't I go out as a diversion? I mean, in my mind, I think, based on your attitude last episode, I wouldn't trust that, but it was a good idea.
Well, Amuro suggested this before when they were up in the dark room and Noah was just kind of interrupted him. It was like, I don't have time to listen to your ideas.
Right. But now he does.
Yes. And now And it's so cool because he agrees with Amuro. He says, we're going to do what you want to do. And Amuro looks like super shocked at this, which is great. Also, 2 notes I missed. 1, everyone's being mean to my boyfriend. 2, Garma says the worst sentence ever, which was, I am very calm and collected.
Right.
Which no actual calm person will ever say.
Yeah, that was right after Char said, like, hey, I'm going to go out. And Garma's trying to keep calm.
Yeah. He's like, I am amazing. I just wanted him to go in front of a mirror and start doing his like build me ups.
Right.
I mean, like,
he's twirling his hair like he usually does.
Are beautiful and perfect.
I am the captain here.
As far as we know so far, he's certainly the most attractive member of his family. I mean, I'm sure Cecilia is gorgeous, but we have 2 real duds.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
but yeah, Amuro is shocked. And I was because I thought this was a really good way to arc out Bright and Amuro in that.
Because last episode they had a scuffle with each other.
Yes, and it makes sense that things are still uncomfortable between them in the beginning of the episode, but then you really see the progress.
Aha! I am not the only one who fumbles his words.
Listen, this is not new to the listeners. Listen. If any of y'all can understand what I'm saying half the time with this ridiculous voice I have, more power to you. Yes, progress. They've made so much of it. Since episode 2, when Noah was like, that child is not flying that robot ever again, to now he's treating Amuro like, hey, you know what you're doing, so I'm gonna, give respect to your idea, and I think this is a good one, so go do it.
Yeah, and good on him, because Amuro is now proven, as Char points out at one point in this episode as well, is that he's gotten way better.
Yeah, he goes, this pilot's improving, and I was like, no shit, you fight him every week.
Well, he's had a bit of a break of fighting him.
I mean, Char has had, that's true. Actually, you know what? It is very true in that he hasn't really fought Amuro one-on-one in, like, Mobile Suit Battle.
In, like, a couple episodes.
I mean, even in episode 7, they were just shooting at each other from a distance. So really, they haven't, like, fought directly, like, one-on-one since episode 5. So actually, you know what? I'm going to give him that one. I take my shade back.
Yeah. Well, not to mention, Char wasn't going out to directly fight him anyway.
No, Char was being a bad team player is what Char was being.
Yeah, which he even says to himself.
Yeah, he's like it's kind of it feels kind of gross that I'm lying to the other men in my group, but oh well.
I gotta support team me.
Yeah, the Char squad is, they'll come around.
Right. He lures Amuro out because, I mean, how can Amuro not fight Char again? I mean, you have to, right?
Well, exactly. It's our what I'm calling the season finale.
Yeah. So Amuro makes a great use of the terrain. Like, he's hopping buildings, he's hiding behind them inside buildings, and taking advantage of cover and taking out some of the other Zaku's.
Yeah. That's what Char was so impressed by. The fact that Amuro knew how to use his fucking bazooka since they got to Earth, because he certainly didn't know how to use it in space.
Nope, not at all. Yeah, Amuro so far with the bazooka has been trashed before. Now he's been able to actually, like, do really well with it.
Yeah, this was his big moment. I was so proud.
Yeah, he took out a Zaku all by himself with that bazooka.
Yeah, I was very upset I did not see a beam sword, though, if we're being completely honest.
No beam sword, but you know what? For once,
Didn't he take out both of them?
I think he did, actually.
At some point or not. I know he took out one towards the end. I don't remember the first one being taken out, but he must have, because I don't remember hanging around afterwards.
Yeah, there was one where he went inside the building and he shot it from inside.
Okay, I don't think that was the one. I'm thinking the one where he was, like, flying backwards and shot it.
He did
that was the second one.
He did that one, too. But this, like I said before, this was all Char's scheme, because he calls Garma. And he tells him, because in his head, he thinks, okay.
Well, Char noticed something.
Oh, that's right.
Char noticed something before he called Garma.
Right. He spotted White Base.
And this was the moment when I was like, ooh, Garma should have been the villain from the beginning, and Char should have been introduced at the beginning of this arc. Because what Char does here, he sees where White Base is, and then could go attack it, but he wants to take care of Garma first. Like, Garma is first on his list.
Yeah.
But he literally, like, puts a mental note. He's like, I'm going to remember this for when I come for y'all next time. But for now.
No. That's not why he did it.
Well, no, I know why he did it. He did it to get to set up Garma for what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But he says, like, I'm going to remember this.
Did he actually say that? I must not have read that.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to remember this when I get my revenge.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't catch that.
And that, he could have been talking about Garma, but I feel like he was talking about them. Because I think he also wants revenge on him for making him look like a punk for multiple weeks.
That could be as well.
That's how I took it. He might have meant in regards to Garma, but I kind of felt he meant like, oh, I'm going to use this tactic on you all later.
That's what I thought. Because...
yeah, like, I'm going to use this to my advantage now, but later I'm going to do this same thing that you're doing to you.
Right. We'll find out if that actually ends up being the case.
Yeah, we got 33 more episodes to find out.
Yeah. So he spotted White Base in the abandoned stadium, like Jeff said. He calls up Garma, and he tells him, hey, the Gundam's retreating. You should probably go get it.
Yeah, because
it'll probably lead you to White Base.
Yes. And Garma gets that, like, dark shading of, like, evil on his face. He's like, yes, that is what I will do. Like, I will follow the Gundam and I will kill them all.
Finally, I will be able to fulfill what I've been setting out to do all these episodes.
Yeah, Garma shifts from being Garma to being, like, a Muppets villain in the course of, like, 10 minutes. Because all of a sudden he's like, yes, this is perfect. And I'm just oh, sweetie.
Garma has completely lost, like, all sense of confidence in his reality because of the defeats that he's had. And the fact that Char manipulated him to be in the state he's in.
Well, this is why nepotism does not work.
Right.
Then you have your youngest son going off to... what is a genuinely scary... Yet again, here's the thing. I may just be weak sauce. And obviously this is 1970s animation. So it's very... they do with it what they can. What happens to Garma was scary as shit.
Yeah.
It was like...
I'm sure
most anime fans and to most, like, longtime Gundam fans... yikes. I'm a mess today, y'all. But to most Gundam fans and anime fans in general, this death, I'm sure, did not seem that dark. I've certainly seen worse. It just, to me, felt like...
But I bet if you had never seen anything like this before, your mind would have probably been blown.
Well, here's the thing. I have seen, and my mind was blown, because the way this happens, to me, was just very... intense in a way that I don't think it would be that intense for most people, but I'm a big old wimp, and I just was like, I was shook by what happens now.
Well, what I mean is like, I'll take you back to when I saw this episode for the first time. This was 2001.
Yes, I see it all.
I was probably like 9 years old.
Yes, an even tinier Keenan. I see it in my mind.
Probably actually a little bit older than that, but not by much, because it was before I went into middle school.
I would have been just about to turn 13.
I was probably closer to like maybe 10 or 11. But I'm a dumb kid. You know, I see these episode previews and I, you know, like I get wrapped up in it. It's like, oh my God, is Garma going to actually get killed? You know,
did they play the episode previews on Toonami? I don't remember. They did?
They did. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been dubbed.
Oh, that's true, because I think they played the Sailor Says after Sailor Moon, now I think about it.
Gundam doesn't get any PSAs after that.
Oh, but I wish it would. But that would play kind of like in lieu of a next time on.
Right. So when I saw that, like, I didn't think about it just like how I do now, where I already know what happens, so it's not that shocking. And I have never seen anything like this kind of storytelling before. Like, Jeff mentioned it earlier in this episode, Gundam Wing and G Gundam had no inkling of the level of seriousness that the show took.
Well, yeah, watching them again as adults, as an adult, not as multiple adults, because I am one. Gundam Wing, no, that show is unintentionally very, I mean, G Gundam, no, I mean G Gundam is unintentionally very silly. Gundam Wing was much darker and had moments like this, which I know is more as an adult.
Right. But I don't think it conveyed it as well as this show does.
Well, yeah, because this show has very little to work with, and at least for me, I find it to be very effective.
Yeah. Like, I got wrapped up in the culmination of Char's scheme, and I was so invested in, everybody on White Base and stuff like that, even though I was more distracted about the giant robot part, but...
I mean, yes, but I'm talking specifically about what happens to Garma and just the anxiety of it all, because it doesn't happen super slowly. It happens kind of drawn out.
Yeah.
But he realizes very early on kind of what the end result is, but then it's just kind of stuck in that for a while.
Right. And
that's what to me was just like, I was like, this is giving me anxiety.
And to what you were saying about the animation, now I can't speak for everybody who saw it originally when it was aired in 1979, but I've seen other animation from that time. It's not all that different. I mean, they obviously have budget constraints and stuff like that, but
I mean, it's a beautifully animated show, but it's just they cannot do with animation in the late 70s what they can now. But yeah, just what I was saying is it's just I'm not talking about the overall pacing or the storyline. It's just this scene, like Garma's big finale.
Yeah.
That to me was very affecting, even though it was very like there's no, like if you watch this episode, there's nothing like unbelievably sad. It's just very realistic to me. It's very realistic of a war and also of just anticipating your own demise.
Well, this is like, I think even Garma puts it in his own words in this episode. This is him going out in a blaze of glory.
Yeah, see, but it didn't feel like that. He said that, but to me it looked like going out in a blaze of terror.
But because we know as the audience that he got played, and he doesn't realize it until the very end, and then even then he's like, well, okay, I guess I'm in this spot now.
And I feel like the blaze of glory line was more of a reaction to Char's betrayal, because I think that kind of took his attention off. But at first, before he knows what Char did, and he's just dealing with the fact that I'm going to die now, it was just very intense.
So what happened is that because Char didn't tell him about where White Base is, Garma's plane and his whole air fleet, they fly by completely missing White Base, and they didn't know that they were actually ready to assault them head on from that stadium.
Yeah, they were following Amuro, thinking he's taking them to White Base, and Garma thinks he's got this all sewed up, because once Amuro gets to White Base, they're just going to wipe it off the planet. Unfortunately.
Nope. They had every single thing that they had left ready and wiped out his entire air fleet.
It was horrifying.
It was pretty intense.
White Base opens fire, as well as the gun cannon and the gun tank, and they annihilate Garma's entire force.
Yes.
And there's this really intense scene where Garma's like, we need to ascend now. And the guy's like, we can't.
Because they are shooting his wings down.
Yeah. They were aiming for his wings. So literally that's when Garma realized, like, I'm going to die now. Like, there is no... And that's when I realized, hey nah, my boyfriend's leaving, and I'm very upset.
And to top it all off, Char from a distance.
Yeah,
gives Garma one final call. He gives him one final call and tells him exactly what he was planning.
Yeah, which, not gonna lie, made me like Char a lot more as the villain, because Char, that was vicious.
This was as cold as it's ever been.
Ooh, it was ice. He was just like, hey... this wouldn't have happened if you weren't such a shitty rich kid who gets whatever you want. And then Garma's like, why are you leading? Why did you lead me to my murder, you jerk? And he's like, ask your father. Mm-hmm. And then that's the last we hear. And Jeffrey is writing furiously. I'm like, oh, okay. Because
as Char is laughing maniacally.
Yes.
As Garma is going down.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Char is doing full-on villain laugh as Garma is going down in flames to his death. But while I am writing furiously, because I was like, I was just thrilled that we got this piece of information, because I could not figure out what at first I thought it was a rivalry, and then as of like episode 8 and 9, I was like, something is seriously up with Char in regards to Garma, but they never fully explained it, and I was worried that was going to be just a kind of a thread that we never really got to understand. We were just supposed to accept that Char didn't like Garma. No. We get a piece to understand it's something to do with Garma's father.
Yes.
Is why Char hates Garma, and we don't know that yet.
Char
and I was like, good.
Yeah, he explicitly states that this is revenge for your family.
Yeah, his father. He says his father.
Yeah, he specifically points to his father.
Yeah, Caecilia's fine, but his father,
Right. So he has some sort of issue with the Zombies, specifically Garma's father.
And then that's just furiously taking notes.
We don't know why he wants revenge exactly. We just know who it's against.
Yes. And we still don't really know much about this. I mean, we do by the end of this episode, but at this point in the episode, we just know they're a powerful family. We don't know what the real deal is, but we're about to find out, and it blew my fucking mind.
Yeah,
I did not expect it.
Powerful is one way to describe it, as you will...
We will soon reveal. There's a lot more going on with Garma's family than I thought. I just thought they were fancy rich people.
Yeah, there's way more to it. But we see it, as Jeff said, he goes down in flames. And actually, that's quite literal, because this whole plane, it just bursts up. He tries to go for a kamikaze dive.
He does, but
against Whitebase.
But he does not plan for Mirai's flying skills. Right. No. And she is like, whoop, and Whitebase goes up. And it's much more serious than that. They're very concerned. Noah's like, he's gonna kamikaze us. And they're like scared. But to me, Mirai was just like, no, we fine. Whoop, and then just over the flaming plane.
It was a real close call, because one, Mirai was getting them out of the way as fast as she could. The plane's coming in, but because it's starting to explode, the plane actually it doesn't even hit the ground yet. It just goes up, it blows into pieces before it has a chance to hit Whitebase at all.
I would just like to remind you...
As Garma, if I may interrupt.
You may, of course.
He took full charge of this. Excuse me. He took full charge of this. His men left him. They saw what was going on, and they got out of the way. And he, Wait, who got out of the way? Everyone got murdered. No. His, the other pilots that were with him. Like, I saw one that deliberately got up and ran.
I don't remember this. I saw every plane go up in flames.
No, in his plane. In Garma's plane.
How'd they get out?
No, I didn't say they got out. I was saying...
Oh, they just didn't stand with him while he was...
Yes.
They went to die in another room.
Correct. They tried to escape, but that failed.
Yeah.
But Garma was the one who was responsible for forcing the plane to dive, because he realized that there was no way out of this. So
yeah, his plan was, okay, well then if I'm gonna die, I'm taking you with me.
Yeah, and he gives one final battle cry before the plane explodes.
Oh yeah, that was very good.
Where we see, like, and this was drawn exceptionally well, where much like where we saw him earlier, where he had a big shadow over his face, showing that he's now like full on evil.
Yes.
This one, we're just like, you see him and he yells for the glory of Zeon, but I could see the terror that he had, even though he was trying to be a soldier to the very end.
And then we do that awesome flash cut to
Iselina.
Yeah.
Where he realizes that this will be the end. He'll never be able to see her
he'll never
again.
get to see her again. Oh, I was so upset. Like, I turned to Keenan and I had like a genuine look of like...
I honestly thought you were going to cry.
I was very upset. I was very sad. I really liked Garma.
Like, I'm not saying that to sass. I actually legitimately thought that.
Yeah, no, I was getting in my feelings. Because when I turned to you, I was like, Keenan? Quick note though.
Yes.
I would just like to point out what I was going to say earlier, my girl Mirai, I would just like to remind everyone that in episode 2, she got hired by basically being like, yeah, sure, I'm sure I could figure out how to fly it. And now she just like flew it out of the way of a kamikaze exploding plane. My girl is raw and rad as hell.
Yeah, Mirai is awesome as always.
Mirai is my favorite character who's still alive.
Yeah, that's the end of Garma Zabi.
I miss him.
I miss him already.
I miss him already too.
But yeah, that's it's not the last thing we see.
My notes.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did a little Waluigi like
I just went wah. I was so sad.
And he wrote wah in his notebook.
Yeah, because Keenan paused the episode to laugh at my notes.
Because I couldn't help but see it.
So sad.
It is very sad. Like,
yeah. Also,
Garma's a great character.
He was very good, and I cannot wait until 20 years from now when we watch the Origin and read the Origin manga. I'm so sorry, y'all. It's been a devastating day for me. And we get to see more of him.
Yeah. But we end this episode on two things. Now that Garma died, the Eschenbach mansion got a call.
They did.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the news was brought to Iselina, who runs outside and just collapses into tears.
Keenan, I think you're leaving out a major part where he just goes like, hey, that guy you're into, he dead.
Well, yeah.
Those aren't his exact words, but tell me that's much different from what he says to her.
Yeah, the father...
It is the most nonchalant, like, hey, your boyfriend's dead.
Yeah, his Iselina's father was the one who broke the news because he got the call first.
Yeah, the one who just backhands her in his off time? I fucking hate him.
So, in the most casual manner...
Yes!
He passes that information off to her.
Like he asked her to go pick up milk. He's like, hey, that pilot you like, he dead.
Meanwhile, he's in his mind, I'm sure he's probably thinking like, oh, thank God, I don't have to deal with that anymore.
Yeah, just until she meets Char.
Yeah, so like I said, she goes out and she weeps. But she's not the only one who hears of this news.
Yes, Keenan, we're world building. Is what we're doing.
This is, to me, like it as Jeff appropriately used throughout this episode. This is like the season coming to an end, and now we're getting ready for the next one because we get a shot of an elaborate castle.
Yeah, a castle which I would just like to point out.
It's constructed very strangely.
It seems to also have a face, much like the Musai.
Yeah.
It also seems to be a big angry face planted in the ground.
The Musai is Char's ship for anybody who didn't catch
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen it, but I'm like, I'm glad we're always on branding with Zeon. We draw everything to look villainous.
Yeah. So this castle is on side 3. Now, I brought this up when we first introduced Zeon. Zeon took over an entire colony.
Well, I think it says Zeon started on side 3 in that opening.
Oh, you're probably right. I'm so numb to the intro now that
yeah, me too. So I could be adding more to it than is actually there. But right. I know I've heard that Zeon started on side 3 before, and I could have sworn they say it in the intro.
But to our listeners who have not listened to this narration 10 times,
or for those of you who have watched the show so many times, you could say it by heart. I apologize if I'm wrong.
Yeah. Side 3 is Zeon's home turf.
Yeah, which apparently it's on the moon?
It's not on the moon. It's a colony that's orbiting the moon.
Okay, they may have said... Oh, well, he said on the other side of the moon. So I was thinking it was like the dark side of the moon, not flying behind the moon.
It does sit behind the dark side of the moon, but it's not actually on the moon.
Well, that's the most evilest place to sit.
Exactly.
and Zeon is all about looking as sinister as they can at all times.
Really hearkening back to Rita and Lord Zed.
It really does. Like, it looks like a Power Rangers villain castle.
Yeah. So we see a man that we did actually see not a photo, but a painting of in the Eschenbach mansion, but I didn't mention anything to Jeff because I wanted him to be surprised.
Oh, Keenan, that's very good. I was very surprised and very excited. Not by this character's design. He looks like a tool.
Yeah. He's a very pudgy, bald, elderly man who's sitting in a throne.
Not that there's... And let me be clear. Your boy is a little pudgy. I'm sure one day I will be also bald and elderly, but I'm still gonna look fly as fuck as anyone can. However, the way this man is drawn, he looks... It's very clear where Dolstum got his genes from, and it's daddy's side of the pool.
Right. He hears the news. He stands up. He's got a jeweled cane. He drops it because of the shock.
I lived for this. It was so extra.
And he is just in complete disbelief that one of his children is now dead.
And for some reason, I have a feeling not the last time he's going to be getting this news this series.
Now, the gentleman at the throne, as they name drop, is Degwin Soto Zabi. Degwin Zabi is the ruler of the Principality of Zeon.
What? That I was like, wait a minute.
Meaning Garma was the son of the king.
He was the fucking Prince of Zeon. Which they kept that shit under wraps. And how cool would it have been if the villain they'd been fighting for 10 episodes turned out to be the Prince of Zeon? I'm just saying, don't mean to keep bringing it up. It's the last time I say it. I'm just saying, this shit ruled because I have been saying how I want to swan dive into that lore. I want that universal century. Give me the meat. Let me know what was going on. And this episode, they were like, hey, you want to see the boss? You want to learn how they've been fighting the boss's son this whole time? You want to know how the boss's son was also brothers with that other tool you hate? Hey, you want to see how nepotism is alive and well, and they just royally pissed off the most dangerous man on the villain side? I was so down for this.
As our numb intro states, the Earth Federation has been fighting Zeon for 9 months. So 9 months of fighting against this man.
Yes.
That has stood up and has now realized that his son is now dead. Like, this, like...
shit's about to get real, because now they have offended the sovereign of Zeon, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Like, it's going to get absolutely wild now.
Well, and that's why I pointed out Avatar, because it was very like the end. You hear a lot about Firelord Ozai throughout season 1, and you don't really see him at the end of season 1, but you see his outline, and he calls Azula and is like, your turn.
Right. Now, we haven't gotten that moment yet, but we may, who knows?
But this was a similar moment in that we're like, okay, now we know now we get a glimpse that this is the big boss. Yeah. This is the big... Yeah.
We now know our real villain here. It's the Zabi family. Yeah. Which means, since we mentioned now that we have our villains established, yes, Char is technically still the main antagonist on screen, because he's the one that shows up the most. Yeah. But this implies that, now, this may be unfortunate for you, but Dozel may show up to be more active. But Cassilia may be showing up too.
Good. I need to see Cassilia.
Not only was she Garma's boss, she's also a princess. Yeah. Which is pretty rad.
I am so for this. And also, listen, here's the thing I'd like to do, because we're pretty much at the end of the episode. Yeah. You can't really do this because you've seen this whole series. I haven't, though. So I'm going to tell you my hopes, my dreams. One, I hope Cassilia shows up and causes a big defeat for White Base and just scares the shit out of them. Right. So, because, they should be riding pretty high now, and I want her to smack them back down to the ground, only for them to rise again in the end, of course. Of course. Dozel can stay off screen, that's fine. But I want Char to be keeping up this I want him to be targeting each of these siblings on his way up to daddy. Completely. That is what I hope for.
Completely under their noses.
Obviously, you can't respond to any of these hopes. These are just, as someone who's only seen the first 10 episodes of Mobile Suit Gundam, this is what I want. This is what I'm hoping for going forward, but I'm excited to see what we get.
No, I can only tell you what we're expecting to be coming up, which is in episode 11, which shows that Iselina may actually be taking matters into her own hands.
Yes.
And is going after White Base for killing her boyfriend.
Yes, which to me feels very season premiere in that she's going to be this like one-off villain kind of tying in the last season, going up for her revenge. When in reality, I feel like something bigger than her is going to be looming at the end of that episode. We don't know yet, and I have no proof of this, but I feel in my soul, in my bones, that something bigger and scarier than Iselina will be waiting behind her at the end of that episode.
Mm-hmm.
Not something they'll necessarily see, but something we'll see. And that's Jeffrey's prediction corner. Da 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 da. Woo!
Who knows? We may actually close a line of your conspiracy theory board. Who knows?
I would listen. Anything to help me save on string for Zeta would be great.
We got the baby done, thankfully.
Oh, that was my highlight of the episode. I was so I have never been so excited that one of my stupid running jokes actually came to fruition. I was like, what? That was just the best.
It was pretty good. Honestly, like, there's nothing left to say except this episode was 100% amazing, with the exception of that stupid narrator that I mentioned, because he had the last say.
Oh, and Iselina's physically abusive father, he also quite sucked.
Yeah, but I mean, that was to drive a narrative. The narrator is just there to ruin a good moment, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But that's it. So thank you, everybody, for listening. If you liked what you heard, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify. We have a show Twitter, which is at Gundam Guys. And that's where you can reach me. And you can tell us how much you love this episode. And if you didn't, I get it. But don't tell me. I'll make you sad. Speaking of don't telling him anything, please do not send us spoilers.
Yes, like, you know how I'm making all these predictions and things? That's because I don't know what's going to happen. I know, if this is your first episode, I know virtually nothing about the Universal Century except these 10 episodes of Mobile Suit Gundam and Gundam NT, which was wild and made no sense.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that I don't know. And if you want to talk to Keenan about it, tweet at him at
K. Scott Pearson,
using the hashtag Mobile Suit Jeffrey, spelled Jeffrey. I have that mute blocked. That way you can talk to him and I won't see it in my feed. Do not tweet at the Gundam guy or at Gundam Guys with spoilers. Even if you use that hashtag, it will still get through. I just want to, keep being surprised like this week, because there were a lot of surprises this week.
Yeah, and I hope that future episode previews do not get as spoilery as they did for Garma's Fate. I feel like that kind of ruined it just a little
Not
bit.
really, because there was a lot of other shit that came. Like, I knew he was going to die. I didn't know how he was going to die. I did not know that he was the Prince of Zeon.
That's true.
Like, there was a lot of shit that it did not. Here's the thing. I'm used to watching Japanese shows where they spoil the big thing in the title. But then they give, usually with the shows I like, they give good enough episodes to back up them spoiling it with the title.
Right. So yeah, there you have it. That's all we got for today. I feel exhausted because of this episode.
I am very tired. And we record early today because we got to have work early. Ironically, this is Memorial Day weekend, which is also the weekend we released episode 6, where we were introduced to Garma. So this afternoon, I was retweeting Keenan's, because Keenan tweets out the show because he has the Twitter app and can actually do the retweet, whereas I don't, so I can only retweet from...
I also upload the episodes directly, so...
Yes, so he has skills that I don't, so I retweet his tweet of the episode to share.
Yeah.
And I retweeted about how we got introduced to my new boyfriend Garma, and now later this afternoon I'm talking about how my boyfriend Garma is gone.
But what a ride it's been.
Yeah, this, with the exception of episode 7, this like...
And episode 5.
Well, no, I'm talking about like the second half, like since Garma showed up.
Oh, yeah.
With the exception of episode 7, this like on Earth arc fucking ruled.
It's been pretty cool.
It was very good. I'm very excited to see what else comes up.
Yeah, and I can't wait to continue on this journey. So again, thank you everybody for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you, and get in your giant robot, people.
Bye.